One.
Hi guys, how are you today? It is a cold and nasty day here on the East Coast. We actually had snow. Got up this morning, everything was covered in white. It was just horrid. We had 2 wonderful days of beautiful sunny, mild weather, clear blue skies, and then yuck. So I know some of my friends on the east coast of the U.S. Suffered through this earlier in the week, but now it's our turn, and I'm not happy about it. It's cold and it's wet and it's damp, and I want some sunshine, and I want to get out and play outside in the garden. The puppers is doing great. Miss Dot's doing just great. She's rolling around, showing off her bright red wheels to all in sundry this past week. She has even decided to go cross country with it. So
Yeah.
she's been keeping herself occupied. She's doing well. She's adapting really quick.
Yeah, surprisingly.
Surprisingly, she's adapting really quick. So we're really happy with her progress there. I did a live with creative innovations in painting on the Facebook group this week. You gals were amazing. We had such a good time, painted lilacs and barnboard, and just in general had a lot of fun. And you guys were incredibly supportive, and I appreciate you coming and checking out the website. We got new patterns up on the website this week. We got, what else did we get? Oh, we got our stamp order came in this week. So we have lots and lots and lots of stamps up on the website. And in fact, we had so many, I thought that we'd put a sale on. So those are all on sale. So if you want to check those out, that'd be great. We're fully stocked on stencils now. I don't think there's anything that we're out of stock on. I don't think.
Not that I know of.
Not that he knows of. So there's tons on there. There is coupon code. Don't forget to use that. Stay safe. That gives you an additional discount even on sale items. So don't forget to use that. And what else did I want to cover? Oh, yes. Right. I got Happy Mail this week. I was so excited. I got an envelope in the mail today. It came from I'm going to assume it's Clearwater, Florida.
Oh, sorry. There we go.
And from Sonia Sindel, she sent me, this is awesome. Look at this. This is great. Awesome mask. It's got sugar skulls on it. I love it. It was such a sweet thing for her to do, and I absolutely love it, and I do appreciate it. So Sonia, mwah, big shout out to you. Really love this. It was so sweet of you. So watch the mail. There's a little thank you coming your way. This is great. I mean, it's very thoughtful, especially right now. I love this. Love it, love it, love it. And we got a new stamp up on the website today. I love this. Of course, it's got bees on it.
Bumblebees.
Bumblebees. This one's really cute. It's good. I love that bee. Little fat butt bee. It says, "Be happy. Be like the bumblebee. You can never give up. You can fly." I love it. So we got those on too. Those are really cute. Love it. So I think I'll do a phone stand with those. Really like that. That'd be cute. Got to find a pretty little flower and some fun design to put on with that. So this week we're going to do a little bit of barnboard. We're going to do some lettering, and I thought I'd take it back to basics and just do some really simple comma strokes, abbreviated comma strokes. And I played with this Gerbera daisy design. I really like this, and my color of the week this week on the Deckwart website or on the Deckwart's Facebook page was the this really bright pink, that burn your retinas out pink, as Renee called it.
Yes.
And when I was putting that together, one of the colors that kept popping up with pink was this really hot orange. And I thought it would make a great piece. And Gerbera daisies are fun. And somebody had mentioned it in a previous live that they would like to see Gerbera daisies. So that's what I came up with. So we're going to have some fun with that today.
We got you.
We got you. Yes, we got you. My Amazon obsession continues. I
What'd
got
you get now?
my spinny thing
for
my media fluid acrylics. I got my partner in crime, Deb Antonek, turned me on to this. It's actually really cool. It's a 3-tiered spinning display. It was originally intended for essential oils, but it is perfect for fluid acrylics, and you can stand the bottle on its lid. So all my additional fluid acrylics, the ones I keep right on my tabletop, are now in this awesome little spinny thing. It's awesome. Can you slide that over without knocking all the
No, I
bottles
was
over?
just going to connect another camera.
Oh. So he's going to show you my spinny thing. I love it. It's very cool, and it's got 3 layers, and each layer spins, so it's easy to access, and it only takes up like small amount of space. It's less than a square foot of space, so it's perfect for my work table. Absolutely perfect.
I'll get there sooner or later.
Yeah. You managed to sneak Bob in again, I see.
Yes.
Yeah. Renee has come up with a name for our zombie cookie. It's Bob.
Yes.
So Bob is in the corner. So he's been showing up. I don't know if any of you have noticed in the last couple of weeks, but he shows up in the lives for Deckwart. He shows up whenever I'm on Facebook or whenever I'm on YouTube. He's just tucked in somewhere. So you might have to look for him, but he's there, I can promise you.
Some behind the scenes.
From behind the scenes, here he goes with another camera.
That's what she's talking about.
This is a great little rig. And I think it was like $30 on Amazon. And free shipping with Prime. I loved it.
Yay! And gotta switch the camera again. Boop. There you go.
Say we give him a techie challenge and he's all over it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that was my Amazon find for the week. I absolutely love this thing. It's great. So today we're going to paint these Gerbera daisies. These were really fun to do and not difficult. So if you've got the pattern, hopefully the way I've written it is easy to follow, but I thought we'd show you step by step how to do it on today's live. So have a sip of tea, and I think I'm ready to get started.
Okie dokie. Got an issue here, so I don't know what's going on. There you go. Why are you doing this thing?
Is it just spinning?
Yeah.
So here we go. We've got, I've got my surface base coated. Now the first thing we're going to do is to create that barn board in the background. This is a really fun and it's really easy to do. You can tone it up, tone it down. You can do it in different colors if you want to. It doesn't always have to be white. So you can do a lot of fun things with this. I've got a beachy idea coming up that uses the same technique but with a completely different color palette that I think is going to be a lot of fun. So this is what we're going to tackle today. We've got a little bit of lettering. You might have noticed in the pattern I've given you a variety of font choices this time around in the pattern. Mainly because once I got it painted, I thought about it and thought, maybe not everybody wants to tackle this really teeny tiny scripty paintwork. So I thought perhaps I'd add something a little bit different. So there's a couple of different font choices in there if you don't want to do this little tiny detailed script font. So this one is pretty straightforward. You're going to start with a base coat of lamp black. Now this is a solid black. I've got 2 coats on here, and I'm going to use my fugly brush, my not so fugly brush.
The palette insert covers up Bob.
Did I cover up Bob? Where's my white paint? There he is.
That better? I don't know why I'm not getting video on our monitor, but
So the first color we're going to use is warm white. Now, if you don't have warm white, you can use titanium white. I'm not completely married to using it. It's just warm white's my go-to. I use it for everything. So you need a fairly wet brush. I'm picking up a little bit of Joe Sonia's in there just to keep the paint moving nice and smooth. And I like to start in the center. And I'm not putting a ton of pressure on the brush. I'm just going to pull it in vertical lines, like so. And I'm going to see areas where that black shows through the white. That's okay too. Even if you miss a spot like I just did there, that's okay. Even if you don't come all the way to the edge, that's okay. This is a really forgiving method of getting this look. Now, if you wanted to add a little bit of interest into it, feel free to make it squiggly lines like that.
Oh, I need coffee.
Of course you do. That's one thing you need, caffeine.
Yep, I always need caffeine.
So you can come back in various places and brighten it a little bit. Throw in a little extra white if you want. I kind of like this, scribbly, wonky line. Just makes things a bit more interesting.
Coffee.
He's happy now. He's got caffeine.
Yes.
So that's as difficult as that gets. Neatness doesn't count. Perfection is to be avoided at all costs. So I'm going to dry this real fast. And it does dry fairly quickly. I just use this. I love this little heat it tool. This thing is awesome. Just awesome. I love this barn board technique. It's so easy to do. And it's really, really effective. You can make it as bright as you want, as dark as you want, change up the color. All kinds of fun things you can do with this. So we're just about dry.
Apparently the person picking up the freezer is on her way.
Okay.
Hot coffee on a cold day is so enjoying. Yes, it is.
Yes, it is. I'm having a cup of tea. He's having coffee.
Don't slurp. Sorry. That's how you enjoy coffee. You have to aerate it.
The sound effects.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what we needed. Sound effects. Don't encourage him, please. One thing I know about this man is that if you tell him he can't do something, he's going to do it.
Yep. Don't push the big red button.
Yep. Because I guarantee you.
I'm going to push it.
Since day one, I can promise you.
Don't take apart the coffee table.
Yes. Well, that was my father's fault.
That was Grampy's fault.
That was my father's fault. My father gave him a tool set for Christmas, and he promptly went and took my coffee table in the family room apart because he discovered that the screwdrivers fit in that screw. So, we blame Dad for that one. Yeah. So I'm going to create some barn board into individual barns. That would be good. Individual boards, bunny leaves, I can tell them.
Chicken leaves.
Chicken leaves. Yeah. So I'm laying down 2 strips of painter's tape with about 1/8 of an inch between them. And these ones, again, I'm not too worried about whether or not they're perfectly straight. I really don't care if it's perfectly 1/8. It can be a little wider, it can be a little narrower. That's entirely up to you.
Apparently I have so many talents.
Really?
I don't know.
He's a talent for mischief, I can tell you that.
Yeah. I'll take that one.
So now I've got 3 spaces, and essentially all I'm doing is just creating the spaces between these boards.
Did anyone find the paint rack on Amazon that she has?
We'll find the link for you and post it. I'll put it up on Facebook.
Yeah.
It is just the coolest little rig. I love it. Works like I was going to say like a hot damn, but yeah, I suppose.
What? Okay. Many years ago, I did a cross-stitch piece that said, the bee is such a busy soul that it has no time for birth control. Oh my! That is why times like these are so many sons of bees. Oh.
Okay.
Well then. Well done, Bonnie Duncan.
So I'm going to take my stencil brush. Any size stencil brush will work fine for this. I mean, it doesn't even need to be a stencil brush. You can use whatever. And I'm just going to put a little black paint right down the center of that strip, that gap in the tape. Neatness doesn't count. Perfection is to be avoided at all costs. I just want to get that color in there. Nice part is if it bleeds under the tape, it doesn't matter. We're making rustic, rough-looking boards, so there we go. So this creates those gaps between the boards, like an old fence or in an old barn. So now I'm going to remove my tape. Comme ça. And we're going to accentuate this a little bit, make it look even more like old board by adding some chippy paint along the edges. There we go. We've got our boards. I like it. So our next step is to take a little of that black paint. I'm going to move this over so people can see what I'm doing with my palette. There we go. So.
Oops, somebody has a cat.
Cat just walked across somebody's keyboard.
Yep. Do you have a cat, Miss Debbie Matthews? Because I'm not that proficient in binary.
So now I've loaded up my round brush. Let's see if you can see that. And I've loaded it up with some thinned lamp black, and I'm going to roll the brush like a push-pull along the edge. I just want to create sort of a broken look along the top. You can roll it along, push-pull, whatever works for you. You just want to create an irregular edge.
The name of the dryer.
Oh, this is it here. It's a Ranger Heated Craft Tool. Best paint dryer ever. I love this thing. And if you're looking for one, they have them on cdwood.com. Like Cover Distributed carries them.
No, she was cleaning her keyboard.
Oh.
Hit the wrong key. Sorry, OCD. Hey. I would have thought you had a cat.
Because ours does that all the time.
I've nearly lost a couple hours of footage because of her.
So all that little bit with the black does just create an irregular edge along. So remember what I said about not necessarily meeting the bottom? This is going to work in your favor because...
Are these instructions in the E pattern?
Yes, they are.
Ah, there you go.
I try to put everything in. From time to time, there'll be the odd thing I miss, but I make sure that the vital stuff is in there.
Oh, what is this? In Paintworks of April 2011 is a write-up of Tracy called Say It With a Straight Face, and she talks about her life reference for being a comedian, plus a picture of her family, including... Oh, no, there's a picture of me in a magazine.
There is, yes.
Oh, my God.
Wow, that's going back a ways.
Wow, somebody really wanted to see my face.
2011. 2011. I think I have a copy of
That
that.
is an old picture.
Yeah,
it would have to be an old picture.
Yeah. So I've got that nice ragged edge all the way around, and I'm going to dry this. 2011 Paintworks. I think I have a copy of that, but Say It With a Straight Face. Wow.
That's going back. Oh, Sheila Landry is on.
Hey, girl. How's my girl Sheila? Sheila sent me a box full of the most amazing ornaments, and I have doodles sitting there just dying to get at them. I have some really fun ideas for those teacup ornaments that she sent me. They're awesome. That same tray, that little tray that I did the Christmas cookies pattern on, I got a bunch more of those because I love that surface. And I've got some really fun ideas for Halloween to go on those. I just think it'd be fun.
Sheila is happy.
Sheila is always happy. She's just one of the most positive and dynamic people I know. She's one of those feel-good people. You talk to her and you just feel good. She's awesome.
Norma Luther just ousted me.
So here we have our barn board. We have our chippy paint along the edges. I love this look. I think it's fun. What are you chuckling about now?
People are asking, shout yourself, Renee.
Ah! I have one photograph. I got to tell you something about this knucklehead. He
Is it when I had the beard?
no.
No. It's coming back.
I can honestly only remember maybe one school picture that we ever got of you that you weren't goofing around, that you didn't have your tongue stuck out or pulling on your ears or doing something. I think we've only got one. He cannot.
You have one of me in uniform.
I have one of him in uniform.
You have
So that's
of
two.
You have two of me in combats in a war zone.
Yes. That's about it. That's about the only photos that I have
And
of you that you weren't goofing around.
You have a video of me being shot at.
Yes. Not a pleasant
which
one.
you don't really watch.
No, I don't really like to watch that one. Watching it the first time was hard enough.
Yeah.
But for the most part, it's almost impossible to get a photo of this guy where he's not clowning around, goofing around, or wearing 3 foot long pink bunny
when
ears.
they get their picture taken.
I know, and you are far from serious.
But my reasoning behind not doing a serious face or how do you put it? A typical smile?
There's nothing typical about you.
I know. But my reasoning behind it is like, nobody remembers the typical.
Well, I mean,
If you have a goofball picture, you're always going to remember that goofball picture.
Yeah. Well, you know what? That the one photograph from Gavin's wedding.
Sheila Landry shot at? Yes.
Yes.
I went to a war zone.
Somebody shot at him and missed. Thank heavens.
I didn't.
I have a photograph of him. I call it the James Bond shot because somebody took it.
Yes.
Somebody took
Alicia's
the photo.
wedding.
Yeah, Alicia's wedding. Alicia and Gavin's wedding.
Yeah.
Somebody got a photo of Rene in a suit wearing his boutonniere. He was neatly and tidily groomed. And he turned around and looked at the camera, and they took it before he could do anything untoward.
And they knew that.
And they knew it. So they immediately sent me the photo. And I call it the James Bond shot because that's what it looks like. So that's my son in a nutshell. I don't know. You're more apt to find him wearing 3 foot long pink bunny ears than you are to find a serious photo.
Well, even Alicia said, he's like, there's somebody who, when they dress up, they look like $1,000.
Yeah, well, you do. You look like $1,000 when you dress up.
Gavin looked like 10 grand because he was immaculate.
Yeah.
And I think that had something to do with Alicia, but
You think? Okay, so
if you guys are watching, love you.
yes.
Hope your kids are doing great.
So we're going to start adding a little more detail to these barn boards. And I'm going to do that with, you guessed it, asphaltum. So we're going to put a float down the edge of these boards with a float of asphaltum.
Normal? Question mark?
Who's normal? Sure as hell isn't you.
I tried to do a new selfie yesterday and I gave up. Oh, poor Sheila. You gave up on trying to do a selfie?
Oh, you know what? You need to take like 50 of them before you get one that you're willing to put out there for all and sundry.
Now you just got to do the rock eyebrow and then you're set. Because nobody looks good with a rock eyebrow.
Except the Rock.
He doesn't even look good when he does it.
So I've got my float going down. I'm going to do it to the outside edge too, like so. And I'm going to flip it over and do it the same way going the other way.
That looks like a 1/4 inch.
It's just a nice wide float.
No, the brush.
gap?
The brush. What's the size brush?
Oh, this one's a 1/2 inch.
1/2 inch.
Yep.
That was off by a 1/4 inch.
Use whatever you're comfortable with. I like these 1/2 inch angles.
I hate selfies. I look weird.
Oh. Here's the tip. Take it from up above and tilt your head to one side it hides all of those, nasty little sagging bits at the jawline.
Like a dog paying attention.
Yeah, tilt your head.
Huh?
Huh? And I look over the top of my glasses, otherwise I got great big eyes. So,
Renee just has to be himself, fun-loving and laughing. Of course!
yeah, there's no other way for him to be. So I'm going to dry this real quick, and then we're going to put a shadow or a float of that asphaltum on all the way around the outside edge as well.
The mild-mannered cameraman by day,
Smart ass
debonair
by night.
agent in the evening. Who knew? Mild-mannered?
Nah. He's not Clark Kent, I can tell you that.
No. Mild-mannered. That's funny.
It is funny. It's very funny.
Is it all my chins?
Yep. You hit a certain age.
Oh,
buddy.
Sheila Landry. All my chins.
Oh, yeah. More chins than a Chinese phone book. That's an old saying. And probably very,
Racist?
not racist. No. I don't
It's
like
not
that.
racist if it's true. You ever see a Chinese phone book?
Yeah. No, it's not that. But it is, like, perhaps, what is the word I'm looking for?
Thick?
Insensitive.
Oh, insensitive.
That's the word I'm looking for. I know there's a liberal term for it somewhere.
A liberal term.
Yeah, it
Are
is
you-
racially insensitive. That's the word.
Racially insensitive. But it's true. If you ever get your hands on a Chinese phone book, there's a lot of chins. Are you using the faux squirrel?
I am, but whatever angled shader you have will work just fine. I'm just putting that dark shadow around the outside edge.
Not being able to buy new paints. I thought it said pants. Has been a blessing in disguise.
Yes.
I've had to use other colors that have been sitting on my shelves forever.
Yes, I agree.
Have had some nice surprise results. Who knew?
Well, part of the problem is that we get very comfortable using very specific colors. And it shows when you look at some artists and designers that they're very comfortable with specific colors. I know it's the same for myself. I'm very comfortable using asphaltum. I'm trying to use it less, just simply because I think, some versatility would not hurt.
Apparently we're on a roll today.
Oh, okay.
Somebody's sides are hurting from laughter.
So, yeah. My racially sensitive remarks aside. So I'm going to
Necessity
dry
breeds
this.
innovation?
Yes, ma'am. Necessity. So, as you can see, I've got my asphaltum all the way around the outside edge. I pulled a couple of thin little washes down, just so that we don't have like white blob right in the middle. So, there we go. And so, we have one last thing to do to this before we trace our line drawing on, and that is to highlight our boards. Because now I want to separate these and give them a little bit more realism, and I'm going to do that with a liner brush. You can use any liner you're comfortable with. I'm using a 10-aught extra long detail liner. This one is a micron.
Some say you can take a color from Americana and take it to Home Depot.
Yes.
They will color match.
Yes, they will color match. Just put a nice big swatch of it, fully opaque, onto a surface, and yes, you can get a color
Get yourself
match.
a gallon. Whole gallon of that color. Except
So-
it'll be in latex.
It'll be in a latex, but that's okay. So you're going to take that liner and you're going to put a highlight on one of the boards. I'm doing it on the left side of the board. Where you put it is entirely up to you. And then you're going to highlight some of those splits. Same way.
I can't really zoom in on that. So.
And you're going to highlight along the edge of that chipped paint.
Maybe.
Doesn't have to be perfect, doesn't even have to be dead on the line, just get that thinned warm white. And I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to exaggerate it a little bit here.
Yeah. There we go.
on that line. I'm exaggerating it here. You don't necessarily have to go that bright, but I just wanted you to be able to see it.
Oop, I'm going the wrong way.
And I'm going to do the same thing to this one over here. Don't worry if it's not straight. Doesn't matter. It's barn board.
Does Renee go with you when you're able to do in-person workshops? You don't want that.
Yes, we do.
No, you don't.
Yes, we do.
Chaos.
I would like to take him to Vegas.
No.
Yeah.
No.
You would
I'll end
have
up smoking again.
No, you wouldn't. But you'd have so much fun.
I don't know.
I'm going to take him to Vegas next time.
That might be too much.
We'll take him and Dot to Vegas. He'd have a ball.
Everyone be sure to hit the like button. Yes, hit the like button. Hit it.
So when you
Not
do
too
that highlighting, now we've got very distinct, separate boards in that surface. And you can continue that highlighting all along that chipped edge with that liner brush. We're going to come back to that towards the end anyway, but I want you to see that you do not have to have those straight, perfect highlighted lines on that line of the boards. They can be thick, they can be thin, they can be irregular, they can be wonky. It really doesn't matter. This is barn board. It's not smooth and perfectly straight anyway, so it doesn't matter. Don't beat yourself up over it.
You could bring Renee to Olds.
Oh my God, yes. Take him to Olds, Alberta. You can come to Alberta with me in the fall.
Sorry.
Olds, Alberta is awesome.
The both of you in Vegas would be a delightful combination. Bring Renee. It'd be chaos.
It would be chaos.
Bring Renee when you come to Oklahoma. I'd love to visit Oklahoma City.
Oklahoma City is awesome. I love OKC, and the people there are amazing. They're so welcoming. They're just salt of the earth. I have loved every trip that I've made there, every single time. And you have to go see the wagon run.
Two places that
Incredible.
I've never had any aspiration to go visit. That's New York City.
Yeah. Love New York.
Not a city person.
I know.
Don't like cities, especially that big of one. And Vegas, just because there's too much.
Yeah. Vegas is fun. No, like, I'm not talking about going and tramping around Las Vegas. I mean, going for the show. You don't even have to leave the building. It's great. You can have a blast in Las Vegas and never leave the hotel. So, we are all
Remind
set.
us when you use faux squirrel brushes over the regular black gold brushes?
When I want a really smooth, soft float of color, I use my faux squirrel. And the reason being is that they hold a ton of water or liquid or glaze, as well as paint. And so I can pull floats a long way without having to reload. So I really love my faux squirrel for that. So anytime I need to hold a lot of water, a lot of color, like for big wide floats, for laying down large areas of transparent color, that's when my faux squirrel comes out, because I love that brush. It's nice and soft, holds a ton of liquid, so that's why. So we're going to get started on our flowers,
design.
on the actual design. I loved doing this. This was so much fun, and it is very forgiving. So this is how you're going to do that. So I've got my line drawing on.
Move it up a little bit.
Dib it.
Actually, I move camera.
You move camera? He's moving the camera. So I've started with my leaves. I have all of the leaves base coated with antique green. And I'm going to...
Actually, the only reason I could see myself going to Vegas...
To make your mother happy?
That could be one reason. It could be a
You
reason.
didn't sound convincing.
There's a gun range in Vegas.
Yes, there is. Biggin.
A big one.
He'd like to go and play with...
Yeah, there's
Toys.
machine guns. A friend of mine went to Vegas, and he's got a video of himself shooting an old German machine gun from World War II.
In case you hadn't figured it out, Renee is a bit of a
I'm a gun nerd.
he's
I
a
love
gun
my guns.
nerd. Comes from being a soldier.
Yeah. Actually, I've
They've
into
always
guns
been a
well
gun.
before that.
Yeah.
Well before I became a soldier. But, yeah, he's got a video of him shooting that machine gun, and it's one thing to hear it and
Another
see
thing to
it.
do it.
I'd like to get behind it myself.
Yep. So I'm going to shade all of these leaves with a little bit of plantation pine. We're going to call it that. I haven't had plantation pine in my paint rack for months, so I've been using sap green in the fluid acrylic. But plantation pine will work just fine, or black green if you have it, midnight green. Any nice dark green will do the trick.
I met my husband in Vegas. Wow.
You know, people do actually live there, right?
No, I understand that. My daughter was in Vegas last week. She had a blast and a much earned vacation with her friends. Oh, nice.
So I'm just shading my leaves with a float of that plantation pine.
What is a squirrel brush?
Faux squirrel.
Faux squirrel brush. It is fake squirrel fur. Fake.
Let me put that in another term. It is a synthetic bristle that mimics
That's what
faux
faux
squirrel.
means. Faux means fake.
Actually, faux means false, but that'll do.
It means fake.
So I'm putting just down the center vein of these leaves and where the leaves overlap, I'm putting just a soft float. Doesn't have to be too harsh of that plantation pine. Comes that. Usually about 2 minutes into this, I'm wondering how come I put so many frickin' leaves in, but
You wanted to balance it out.
I wanted to balance it out, but yeah. Sometimes I question my
I heard her the other
Wisdom.
day say, it's not balanced.
oh no, I was painting this thing and I kept figuring out, like, what was wrong with this? Yeah, hello.
Something wrong with the lighting today. Just weird. The enemy squirrel brush? Faux. Well played, Sheila. Well played.
Of course it was Sheila.
Did you mention last week that you found a good graphite tracing paper again?
I did. My favorite is Deckwart's graphite paper. I just love it. It's nice and dark. Gives you nice transfer, but it's also very easy to get off when you need to. So I'm just about done with all these flipping leaves.
I went to Vegas and spent about 10 hours walking around people watching.
Oh, I could spend all day people watching in Vegas. You see
I
stuff in
think some
Vegas.
of the
you
food's
would
good too. So.
Oh yes, there's great food in Vegas.
See, there's two reasons for me to travel. And I did most of it in Europe.
Yeah.
And
Food.
it was food. It was food.
Yeah.
If I'd do it again, I'd go to India. Now that I've
Yep.
gotten a bit of a palate for it. Yeah, if I were to do it again, I'd definitely go to India.
Well, then you'll be happy tonight because I made butter chicken.
Yeah, butter chicken.
So these little leaves, I don't really worry too much about, fine details down the center. So my little leaves just get a float at the bottom where the stem joins. And it's just a weak float, doesn't need to be over the top. These are pretty basic little leaves, so nothing too elaborate.
So like little S strokes?
Not even, it's more like a little C stroke, an inverted C stroke.
Inverted C stroke. I went,
It's just to put a shadow on the bottom part of the leaf or the top part, depending on how you're looking at it.
I seldom get out of the hotel when going to conventions. Either in class or shopping or just resting up.
Yep.
Yeah. If that's the reason why you're going to Vegas.
Yep, exactly.
Yeah.
Well, and when we're in Vegas, we have such a good time anyway, because you're usually gabbing with, all your friends people that you paint with, or you're in class, or you know,
Ooh, I have Greek chicken marinating with lemon and oregano.
yum.
Ooh, yum. That sounds delicious.
I'm getting a new barbecue. Can't wait.
Oh, you got salmon in the fridge too.
I have salmon marinated. That's for the smoker.
That's for the smoker?
Yeah.
Oh.
And it's teriyaki.
Teriyaki salmon and then smoked?
And smoked.
Ooh, that's going to be so good.
So
I think we got to put a pan underneath it.
Yep.
Like a better pan.
Yeah.
Because, I don't know, all that fat and stuff in the bowl was gross. Just saying.
So I have all my shading in place. So we're going to start highlighting these leaves. I like doing all of these leaves first before we do the flowers because flowers are going to overlap them. So we're going to highlight with this. And I'm going to use a little bit of margarita for this.
What is this? Would you tell us how to fix brushes that have inherent hair sticking out of them? Thank you so much.
There's two things. I
like how you looked at the camera. That's not even.
I know. Force of habit. Shut up.
Looking right at the camera.
I'm looking right at the camera and it's not even on.
I've been trying to get her to
talk to the camera.
Talk to the camera and make eye contact with the camera. She'd give me strange looks like, huh? I don't get it. And now she's doing it without even thinking.
Yeah, well.
And the camera's not even on.
And the camera's not even on. So what happens when you get a brush that's got a hair that refuses to stay in line with the rest of them? And I know you probably can't see this, but this one is right here.
You amputate.
So ideally, if you can't get it to go back where it needs to go, you're going to pull it down and away from the rest of it and then cut it off close to the ferrule. Don't try to trim the edge of the brush, but if you've got a hair that refuses to stay in one place, get the hair, pull it down and away from it so that it's down here, and then trim it off as close to the ferrule as you can get. Don't try to cut this way towards the bristle, but pull it down and away and cut it down here. So if you've got a little bit sticking up, 1/8 of an inch or 1/4 of an inch up here, that's okay, but you don't want it sticking out on the sides because it'll make a mess. But that's how you do that. You just snip them off down there. And that way it doesn't interfere with the body of the brush either. And that's only as a last resort. I've had it happen on numerous occasions. So I'm loading my angle with a little bit of margarita. And I'm going to highlight on the opposite side of that shadow.
I'm gaining weight just watching. Okay.
So a float of that margarita on the highlight side opposite that shadow. Like so.
Hello from Rockland, California.
Now where is Rockland?
Rockland, California. It's in
We
California.
always I know it's in California. That part we got. We always need some sort of geographic location that we can use as a reference, right?
Somewhere we know where it is.
So is it in Southern California, Northern California? Is it in the high desert California or the mountains?
Bob is missing again. No, Bob's here.
Where's Bob? Bob's over there. There's Bob. So there is our highlight. And again, neatness doesn't really count for this. We're going to come back in and clean up these shadows and highlights anyhow. So don't beat yourself up getting them utterly perfect.
Near Sacramento.
Sacramento.
Or Sacramento? Sacramento? I think it meant. Yeah, the R is really close to the T. I understand.
Sacramento, California. LA is an extremely busy and such a big city. I'm not a huge fan, but I gotta tell you, when I went to visit and teach with my girls up in Oregon, Grants Pass, Oregon, up that way, I flew in through San Francisco, and oh my gosh, what an absolutely beautiful area. San Francisco area of California is gorgeous.
I agree. I love pictures of San Francisco.
Oh, San Francisco. That
never wanna
area
go
is
there.
so pretty.
I would never want to go there. I
But-
think I'd go see where they filmed The Rock.
Yeah. Well, you can't help but see it because it's
Gotta
right
go.
there.
You gotta go to Alcatraz.
It's right
You
in the
have to
middle
go
of
to
the bay.
Alcatraz. You have to check out, the once inescapable prison.
Yeah. But you know something? One place I know that you would absolutely love is Grants Pass, Oregon. It is just...
Is it like the prairies?
No, it's not. It's just the most gorgeous place. First of all, I love Oregon.
I like.
I love
Montana.
Oregon, period. But that area is it's rich in history. It's just such a pretty place. It's wild. There's huge trees. It's green. And I just loved it up there. It was beautiful.
Kathy Gunther, we live about 40 miles from San Francisco.
Grants Pass, yeah. But yeah, that part of California is just beautiful.
Hey Renee, one of my sons bought something for our house a few weeks ago, and we practiced shooting in the living room with a target taped to the wall. Wish I could explain it better, but pretty realistic. Huh.
Please don't tell him things like that. Him and his father will be shooting things up in the living room.
I know there's one for phones where you can use a real gun, and it's a special type of electronic device you put in the barrel, and you could practice
Okay.
your trigger squeeze and your sighting, and you literally shoot at your phone. And
Shoot at your phone.
you shoot at your phone. It uses like infrared and stuff, and it's pretty cool. But it's to develop your skill set
Yeah.
with handguns specifically.
So I'm just putting a little highlight. Remember we did the shadow at the base of that leaf? I'm just going to put a little highlight at the tip of that leaf.
I'm waiting for a year to get watermelon slice.
Watermelon slice. That's a pretty pink. I use it for painting candy canes.
And they are discontinuing it?
Yes.
Oh no.
Yeah, somebody posted the list of discontinued colors the other day, and it is quite a list, but DecoWorks actually takes that list very, very seriously because, let's face it, they're removing something from their product line. And so they do have a criteria for when they're removing colors from a product line.
You have seen more of the United States than I have, and I was born here and raised here.
Well, I grew up with a military family,
We're used to.
and then married military.
Duh.
And I'm very comfortable traveling. It doesn't going from pillar to post and doesn't bother me at all. I have no problem hopping on a plane and flying halfway around the world by myself. I'm perfectly comfortable with it.
You can't hardly find ammunition in the States. I don't own a gun anymore. I know it was getting pretty scarce before I moved out here, but
So I think we're about ready to start these flowers. These are going to be fun. Fun, fun, fun.
bright and colorful.
Nice, bright, and colorful. So we're going to start with this pink one over here. And I have
Burn your retinas out.
three pinks and white. So I've got Berry Cobbler, which is that darker value. This is a really rich color. Not one I have not used a lot of.
There have been times when I might want to like to shoot my phone. I agree.
There. And the next color is that color of the week last week, which was Royal Fuchsia. And we're going to use Petal Pink, which is a lighter value. So essentially 3 values of pink. Move that out of the way. Now I'm using a number 2 round.
I'm going to go check, see if so-and-so's supposed to pick up the freezer.
So you're going to start with that Berry Cobbler, and you need a fair amount of paint on the brush to do this. And you're going to do that first row of petals. Don't worry if you're covering up all of these other ones, that's all right, because it's pretty loose anyway. So you're going to put in that first row of petals just by stroking them in. So I'm pressing down on that round brush till it opens up, and then I'm pulling back. Now, these are going to overlap each other. That's okay. It's not going to look really pretty for a bit yet. And you notice I'm pulling them back to this area here. I don't want them to go much further than that. Just like so. But you notice where I'm placing them, where if they overlap those leaves, I'm pulling that color right over the leaf. So now that leaf drops back in behind that flower. And it's the same with this one. This one's going to go over top of this one, so don't worry about if you go over it. It's fine. So this is still that one color. Easy peasy, right? And it's just a simple combo stroke. Nothing fancy, nothing elaborate. Don't worry about getting them perfect, doesn't matter. So there is our first layer. So you're going to take, for your next layer, you need your dirty brush. I'm just leaving that berry cobbler in my brush. I'm going to dry this really quick. So I still have berry cobbler in my brush, and I'm going to pick up that royal fuchsia, which is that bright pink. So I'm going to have both of those colors on my brush, and this is where I'm going to treat it like it's fish scales. So I'm going to go in between my petals, like so. And this is where I start building up that shape. I want that berry cobbler to show through, and I've got my dirty brush. And this is our next layer. So you're still kind of treating this like it's fish scales so that we overlap. And I keep picking up a little of that royal fuchsia on my brush. So now I've got my second layer in, and I'm going to dry that. So now I have just the royal fuchsia on my brush. So I'm going to rinse out those two colors and just pick up the royal fuchsia. And I'm going to do this again and again, fish scale, remember. I'm going to go in between so that they overlap. So now, and they're a little bit shorter, you'll notice. So you can, this is going to be a little more forgiving. And they're a little bit shorter, not too much shorter. You don't want them really stubby yet. So there is our next layer. So this is the royal fuchsia on the brush. So our next layer is the dirty brush. And I'm picking up a little of that petal pink, that lighter value. So I'm going to get that lighter value on. And we're going to do that again. Again, we're doing that fish scale thing. And they're a little bit shorter, a little bit, not too much. We're doing that fish scale so that they overlap the first two. And then we're going to add a little bit of warm white. I'm just tipping into that warm white a little on that dirty brush to do this final layer. And we're going to pull in just a few, oops, a little too much white, just a few little short stubby ones. Again, sort of treating it like it's a fish scale. You don't need to have a ton of them. So this brings us to our center. So there's flower number 1. Now we're going to move over to this one and we're going to repeat that whole process. So that back row, nice, loose, big, bold strokes, like comma strokes. I like these because they overlap those leaves and instantly pushes those leaves back a little. So we've got lots of color on there. Don't be afraid to get some paint on that brush. This is fun and it's easy and very forgiving. Don't overthink it. That's what the line drawing is for. It's just to give you a guide of where these strokes are going to go. The nice part is that color is a little transparent, so you'll be able to see some of those petals right through it. Push it till it fills up that level, that space a little bit. This berry cobbler is such a rich color. So there we go. I've got our first coat in. I'm just going to deepen a couple of these because they don't look quite dark enough for me. I missed one. There we go. So into the royal fuchsia with that dirty brush. See how fun it is? They look kind of fluffy and they've got some dimension because we've got all that lighter value towards the center. This could pass for a zinnia too, I suppose. Just slightly bigger and shorter strokes, more layers. I think they would look more like a zinnia. So into that dirty brush, into the royal fuchsia, and this is where we start overlapping. It gives us a little more of that depth that we were looking for. Of course, the more pressure you put on that brush, the bigger that stroke will be, the bigger those petals will be. So don't be afraid to put a little pressure on that brush. And you can curve them if you want to. Give them a little bit of chutzpah. I love, love, love that royal fuchsia. Such a pretty color. So there's that layer with the royal fuchsia.
No questions asked.
Okay.
All right. Speaking of questions, what did I miss?
What did you miss?
I don't know. What
We
did
were
I
painting
miss?
flowers.
Oh, you're painting flowers?
We're painting flowers. So there's our royal fuchsia. So I'm going to rinse out my brush.
Oh, okay. Oh,
And now it's just straight royal fuchsia. And we're going to overlap again, like that fish scale that we talked about.
I get to watch. Have you been to Australia?
No, I have not.
And
That is on my bucket list.
it's on her bucket list, but she also knows the spider warning.
I don't do spiders.
Yeah. So when there's spiders bigger than your face, it's not a place that she goes to.
No, I haven't. Like, I'm terrified of spiders. When I discovered there's certain parts of Colorado where tarantulas go, forget that noise. Anybody living in Colorado, I love you dearly, but no. I don't do spiders. Ever. They terrify me. So now I've got my royal fuchsia in my brush. And this is that petal pink. I love this pink. If I have to love a pink, this is the one.
The only time my cell phone rings is when some fool is trying to buy my house or sell me insurance. Wow. What size brush are you using?
This is a number 2 round. Sorry, a number 3.
Yeah, size 3. Somebody answered it for you.
Okay.
Is Berry Cobbler a new color?
No, Berry Cobbler's been around a couple of years. I love this color. I just recently discovered it. So there is my petal pink and my...
Oh, Deb's on.
Hi, Deb. My partner in crime is on. Deb got a bunch of new stamps in this week, so go check out that.
Yeah, go check out Painting with Deb.
Yep.
.ca.
Yep.
She
.com. Yep. Deb got a whole bunch of new stamps in. She sent me one. I got to play with it. It's so freaking cute. Where is it? I think it's on my... She sent me one with hummingbirds. It's so pretty. I think it's on my desk over there somewhere.
When it rains in Australia, it rains spiders.
Oh.
Yeah, no, she's not going then.
Nope. I absolutely detest spiders. I know they're good. I know they eat other bad bugs, but I'm sorry.
No. Was margarita a substitute for something?
I usually use olive green, but I'm out of olive green right now. And that actually is another color that is on the discontinued list from what I've read.
What?
Yeah.
You're losing olive green?
Losing olive green, but they got matcha green.
Matcha.
I love matcha green.
We need one called guacamole.
Guacamole. We have one called avocado dip. I think that one was discontinued too. So I'm just pulling in. I want to put in a couple of little short flowers, little petals in.
Oh no, we won't be going there.
No. So there, we've got our pink flowers done. So next, we're going to tackle this big orange one. I love this orange. So the 3 colors that I used for this one are, I used cadmium orange, which is our darker value for the outside edge. It is a very transparent color. That's okay in this case. You'll see why. So I've got cadmium orange. If you don't have cadmium orange, you can use burnt orange. It'll work. And then orange flame, which Deb turned me on to this orange. I love this one. And then I wanted a lighter value and something a bit more opaque, so I went to tangerine. And of course, we have some warm white on our thing. I'm going to switch to a slightly larger round. I'm going to a number 5 because this flower is a little bit bigger. So I'm going to dry this really quick so that I'm not mucking things up. There we go. So we're going to do the same thing that we did with the first 2 flowers with this bright orange, and I'm going to start with that cadmium orange. And we're going to pull those strokes in. All those background ones.
If you don't have flame or orange flame, what can you use?
Any bright orange. All essentially you need is 3 values of orange. You don't need to have exactly what I'm working with. So if you're really pushing it, you can use cad orange like I have. Another good mix would be persimmon.
Persimmon?
Persimmon or Georgia clay. Georgia clay would work too.
That's a very brown orange.
Yeah, it is. And then you could go to spice pumpkin. Or jack-o'-lantern orange would work too.
What's the shade of pink called that hurts the eyeballs?
Oh, it's a royal fuchsia is the name of that color. It was my color of the week this week.
Yeah, burn your retinas pink.
It's very bright. It's a pretty pink, though. It works really nicely for this.
Yeah.
So I'm just stroking in those background ones.
I saw your interview on Facebook.
Oh, yeah. That's
You
neat.
had an interview?
Yeah.
Oh. Mm.
It was on Thursday. Creative Innovations.
I didn't know you had it.
It was a short interview in a class.
Oh. Oh, right. I set up for that.
Yes, you did. Comes the dawn.
Ding.
So again, I'm just stroking in those background petals, like so.
Substitute for berry cobbler?
Let me see. You can use mulberry. You could use cranberry wine. They're a little darker, but again, that's fine. Those colors will work too.
I hate spiders. They're creepy.
Couldn't agree more.
Going to make this.
So there is our orange, our first layer of orange. I know that it's not covering everything well, and that's okay, because we're going to take our next one with the dirty brush, and we're going to tip into the orange flame, which is it's slightly more opaque. So dry this real quick.
You were mentioned? What?
Yes, you were mentioned.
I was mentioned in what?
Dispatches.
What?
During the interview.
Oh. During the interview. Why was I mentioned in the interview?
Plausible deniability.
Ah. You got to put the bodies on somebody.
That's all right. So I'm using that dirty brush and that orange flame, and then again, I'm going back into that sort of fish scale mentality where I'm overlapping my first row.
Didn't you all read Charlotte's Web? Charlotte wasn't really a spider.
Yes, she was.
No, she was not.
So again, I'm using very big, loose strokes and a dirty brush to put this in.
Loads of us wanted to know where you were.
Yes, they were wondering where you were.
I was selling a freezer. I sold a freezer.
We bought a new deep freeze, so we were getting rid of the old one.
What were they talking about during the interview?
Maybe during the interview.
That I don't stick around for that stuff.
So there's our next layer. And we're going to take that dirty brush and we're going to tip into that little bit of
Matcha.
pumpkin.
Pumpkin.
Tangerine. Oh my gosh. English is the second language today.
Tangerine.
Tangerine. Read
Tangerine.
the label. Tangerine. Read the label, Trace.
Tangerine.
So I've got a little tangerine on my brush. And I'm going to stroke in the next row. And again, I'm thinking like this is fish scales. And this is going to start filling in a few of those little gaps. Oops. Too much tangerine. Not enough orange. There we go. And again, I'm treating this like fish scales.
See, his talents are endless. Add salesman to the list.
Oh,
I
yes.
I was a salesman for a bit. I sold body armor. Yeah.
He's a pretty good salesman, actually.
More of a casual salesman.
Yeah.
I'm the kind of salesman that I don't push the product if you don't need it.
Yeah.
If you don't need it, I'm not going to sell it to you. Or I'm not going to push to sell it to you.
So again, I'm doing that sort of fish scale thing, or making sure I overlap in places. I can smell curry.
I know. I walked up there and
So my next layer for this is just straight tangerine and maybe a little bit of warm white. I'm going to tip into that warm white a little just to lighten the value a touch. And we're going to put in just a few little petals.
finally found out how to comment on your YouTube feed. Great lesson. Get the fly flap. Fly flap. Fly trap. They don't stand a chance in my house, and in the house equals dead spider.
Well, we have Gizmo.
We have Gizmo. He eats them.
Gizmo eats spiders. So there is our next layer. I've picked up a little bit of warm white on my dirty brush, and I'm going to pop in just a few little small petals. Again, that sort of fish scale. I just want a few little random petals. Oopsie. There we go. So if that is it, we've got our flowers in. Ta-da!
My husband would love more salesmen like you.
Does he sell body armor?
If he sells body armor, as long as I get to know the company a little bit and understand how the body armor is actually made, then I could probably sell
All kinds of it.
all kinds of it. I could actually make 2 cold calls and make 20 grand.
So, I've got my petals in. We do
What
have to
is it?
separate them a little bit.
What is a gizmo?
What is a gizmo? Gizmo is a 22-pound silver point tabby. With
Call him Stumpy.
we call him Stumpy because his front legs are actually shorter than they should be, so he looks kind of odd, but
But they're not.
they're not. It's just the markings make him look like his legs are shorter in the front than they are in the back. And
And he walks around like a pit bull.
Yeah, he does. He's like a bulldog, right?
Yeah. Yeah, that's it. Bulldog.
Yeah, he walks around like a bulldog. He's big, he's dumb, and he's the sweetest thing walking.
He hates overly pushy salesmen. Oh.
So I'm just painting a circle in the center of my flowers with asphaltum. Ta-da!
Where do I find the most recent discontinued list?
It has not actually been officially released yet. It is going out to some of the wholesalers because they're placing orders and whatnot. So, but the most current one is actually available on my website. If you go to the free educational materials section on my website, you will see a retired colored list or discontinued colors with a color mixing guide. So that if it's a color that you use quite frequently, there is a color mixing guide there. It's attached right to it. Gives you the ratios and everything. There will be an updated one out probably in a month or so, but and again, that one will be available on my website as soon as I get it. You will get it, I promise you.
Oh, there's Karen. Giz the Grump.
Giz the Grump. That's a good name for him.
Yeah, that was Karen. Gizmo doesn't like Karen.
I don't know why. She's a cat person. All the cats love Karen, but Gizmo, not so much.
Yep.
She touches him, he goes, eh.
Nah. Jewish cat.
Gizmo doesn't have a typical meow.
He has a Murph.
He has a Murph. He walks around the house going, Murph, Murph. And then when he's really annoyed, he goes, meh. He's just different. But he is sweet.
Kathy has a cat named Stumpy.
Yeah, he must be related to Giz.
Yeah. He's only 18 pounds.
Only. Yeah.
So we have maybe 4 pound soot?
So it's 5.5 tops.
5.5 tops?
You could blow her over with a stiff breeze. You'd need a
She is the
bulldozer.
oldest of all the animals.
Yeah.
She weighs the least. Gizmo is second oldest
Yep.
at 22 pounds. And then there's the 4-year-old 80-pound
Yep.
paraplegic.
Yep. So I've got my centers in. So we're going to shade the center before we start working on the outside edge. So we're going to shade these flowers, and this is how we're going to do it. For the purple flowers and the orange flowers, we're going to shade with asphaltum.
He sounds like a goat.
That's not far from the truth.
He sounds like
That's
a
a
goat.
really good analogy.
Yeah. What was the color after tangerine?
After tangerine, I just picked up a little bit of warm white with the dirty brush. So now I'm going to take a little asphaltum and I'm going to shade around some of these petals with just a little asphaltum.
Never seen a 22-pound cat. Are you sure he's not a bobcat?
No, he's not. Put it this way. I've got a photograph of him sleeping across the back of a full-size Lazy Boy recliner, and he literally hangs over both ends.
And both sides.
And both sides. He's a big boy.
He's a big boy. But he is chill.
He's max relax. He's just super mellow. He's an easygoing guy.
Until he goes on his tears.
Yeah, and then he scares the other animals. So
Even Dot. Poor Dot.
yeah. Because it sounds like somebody threw a bowling ball down the stairs when he comes down.
Sometimes I'm pretty sure he misses stairs on purpose.
I think he does.
Surprise! Shading with asphaltum.
Yep.
Yeah.
I know, you're shocked. So I'm just tucking little shadows in just to separate some of these petals a little bit, just to define them. You don't have to do too much, just a little here and there.
My cat Sebastian and his 24-pound Maine Coon.
Oh, Maine Coons are so pretty. I love Maine Coons. I think Gizmo may have a little bit of Maine Coon in
Oh,
him.
for sure.
Because it's his feet are webbed, for one thing. It's either Maine Coon or Water Cat, I don't know which. But I've never seen a Silver Point Tabby this size, and
You big boy.
he loves water.
Yeah. This is a cat who sticks his head underneath the tap in order to get a drink.
Yeah. This is a cat that gets in the shower with you and licks the back of your leg for 5 in the morning. He scared the living tar out of me.
What's the difference between white and warm white?
The temperature of the white is the biggest difference. I know, I wasn't being sarcastic.
What? Just stick my finger in the bottle. Yeah, that's warm.
Warm white has actually just a touch of yellow in it, so it doesn't have that cold feeling. Titanium white is a very cool color.
I'm a smart ass.
Yes, you are. Ass. So I've just shaded a little bit of the petals, just to separate them a little bit. I'm going to do the same thing with these darker purple ones. I'm just going to put a little shadow in behind. In a few places, I'm not going whole hog here. I just want to separate a few of these petals.
Going ham. Whole hog?
Whole hog. Huh.
Ham.
funny.
Going ham?
Not so much.
What? Come on. That was great. It's hilarious.
Nope. So that's all I'm doing is just a weak float to separate a few of those petals, just to give them a little more definition. And I think that's about all I need in there. And I'll do the same thing on the other side.
Plug this camera in.
And then we're going to have some fun with dip dots. I love dip dots. Dip dots are awesome. And this is also what shapes this flower. So we're going to start with that berry cobbler, that base color. This is going to be the first color we use for the centers of these flowers. And I'm using, ta-da, the end of my brush. So I'm going to start on these darker purple flowers out here. And we're going to put a row of dip dots with that berry cobbler. And we're coming all the way out onto those petals. Like so.
A smart one is much better than a dumb one.
Yep.
Yep. Sure.
Oh, and there's not too many of those in our family tree, thank heavens.
Yeah, no, our family tree is pretty much all sharp as tacks.
And
My mare was sharp. Oh my god. She
my
was
92-year-old mother-in-law was as sharp as they come.
and quick.
She had such an amazing quick wit.
Wow.
She was wonderful. So I'm going all the way around the outside of that brown dot with it, with these dots of...
Did you think that was going to be silent, Renee? What? Huh? I'm confused. Don't know what you're talking about. It never happened. What color would you use if you can't get asphaltum?
You know what? I dip into a little bit of burnt umber. Will do the job.
And thin it out.
Thin it out.
Use some of that Josania.
Yeah, use some of that Josania's fast drying glaze and thin out your paint so that you get nice transparent washes.
I'm dip dotting a phone stand. Love dot so much.
So I'm just putting, it's a row of these.
You heard that? Okay. Yeah, well, okay.
Did
Fair
you do
enough.
something untoward?
I had a little burp, but I didn't think that the microphone would catch it. And well,
Then excuse yourself properly.
excuse me. Are your pants on fire yet, Renee? What? I honestly didn't think that you would hear that small of a burp, and I was, well,
Wrong.
wrong.
So I've used that berry cobbler. I could just, for whatever reason, I could not think of the name of that color.
Cherry pie.
Cherry pie berry cobbler. Okay. So
Berry gobbler.
I've gone all the way around the outside. And we're going to do this in layers because the next layer is going to be saffron yellow. And then our final layer is going to be the warm white.
Or an educated rectum? What? I did not.
Smart ass
Oh,
educated rectum.
Yeah.
So the next color I'm using is saffron yellow. I can't get it out of the bottle. Doesn't want to
These
come out
are
of the
awesome
bottle.
colors. Yes, they are. They are awesome.
They're
colors.
very bright. And that's one of the reasons I chose them. I wanted something really, to really pop. So,
I think we all.
God. Of course, now it comes out in a gush. So I'm going to do the same thing I did with that berry cobbler. I'm going to pick up that saffron yellow. And again, I'm coming out. And I'm going in between. Randomly. They don't all have to be the same size. They don't have to be perfect. Make sure that they overlap this brown just a touch.
Did you use berry cobbler on the orange?
I did. That's what I did right there.
She did.
Yep.
I love the berry cobbler dots on the orange. You're learning all kinds of things in this class. Yes, I'm learning my microphone is quite more sensitive than I thought. But I can also adjust that.
So it's just simple little dip dots. They can be large, they can be small, they can be random. Just tuck them in. Oops, that one's a little bit big, but that's okay. I'm getting hungry. All I can smell is
Butter chicken.
butter chicken.
Butter chicken. Sorry if I whispered in your guys' ears.
So there, I've got that one in.
I'm with you, Kathy B. What did Kathy B say? Where's Kathy B? We were learning all kinds of new things in this class. Yes. I am... What are you learning? What did you learn?
What have I learned?
Yeah.
I've learned that I could actually do a lot more with this technique just using different color palettes. I was thinking I could use like various shades of purples would be pretty, various shades of blue would be pretty, Bahama blue, Prussian blue.
Well, of course, Bahama blue.
Yeah.
What? Uh-oh. What do you mean, what's butter chicken?
Butter chicken. Oh my gosh. It's an Indian dish that is just yum.
It's spicy, it's creamy, it's savory, it's
It's perfect.
everything. It's
It's
good.
It's made with
Yogurt.
curry and yogurt and boneless chicken. I like using chicken thighs for it. Take the skin and the bone out. And of course, there's diced tomatoes, there's cardamom, there's red peppers, there's just like oodles of yummy goodness. And then you cook all of that, let it sort of simmer nice and slow for a while till it cooks down to a nice thick sauce. And you serve it over a bed of basmati rice. It is absolutely delicious. It's rich, it's savory, it's got a little bit of a kick. And you can make it as spicy as you want or as not so spicy as you want. That's the great thing. So I've got my saffron yellow dip dots. If I was doing these in fluid acrylic, I would use the diarrhea yellow because I like that in-your-face yellow, but the saffron will do the trick very nicely. I like it. And so the last thing we're going to do to this center is we're going to use a little bit of warm white. You can use titanium white, whatever you have on hand. And I'm going to use the end of my brush again. And this time I'm going to be quite selective about their placement. I want to make sure that those white dots come out onto the petals. I also want to make sure that they overlap that brown area in the center. And I'm going to work in between the yellow and the purple so that I got, or that yellow and pink, so that I have all of those colors showing. I kind of like that. And they're going to be various sizes, so try not to make them all the same size or all perfect. I just find that the more loose they are, the more soft they appear. And I forgot to do something.
My two favorite books.
Okay. I forgot to do something. I forgot to put a shadow around our center. That's what I forgot to do. So we'll have to do it.
What did I miss? They're talking about sex. What is going on?
Careful. We want to keep our PG rating.
Did you say better than sex?
No, I did not.
Who said better than sex? What is going on? I leave for 1 second.
So what I should have done before I started all of those yellow dip dots was put a float of that berry cobbler around the center of this flower, and I didn't do that. Lights are on and nobody's home, so I'm going to quickly just tuck a little float in, carefully, in and around. This would have been a heck of a lot easier if I had done it before I put the yellow on.
I think they're talking. What the hell?
Did we lose them? They're all talking about sex now?
Oh, butter chicken.
Okay. Or did you say it was better than sex?
Tracy Craig asked if it was better than sex.
Pretty close. And I'm going to do the same thing on the orange flower. I'm going to use that little bit of berry cobbler to shade around the center of that flower. I'm going right over the yellow. I'll have to brighten it up, but I goofed it. I'm sorry. I'll leave that one because those are still wet. This is me. I got overexcited, forgot where I was. Now I can't find my brush. Oh, there it is.
Home style cookery.
Renee's favorite
Yeah.
chef. He's crazy. He's absolutely insane. He's an amazing chef.
And he's Canadian.
And he's Canadian.
He's actually from St. John, New Brunswick. Trying to find.
Butter chicken?
I think he has a butter chicken recipe.
I think it's in the other one.
In
Most
Homestyle?
of it-
Homestyle.
No, it's in the new one.
Homestyle Cookery is the newest.
Then it's in that one. It's the one you got for my birthday. That one. Yeah, it's in that one then. So I'm just finishing out, now that I've fixed my goof, putting my little white dip dots. And like I said, make sure you take them out onto that little bit of brown in the center. Yeah, if you want a really great cooking experience, go and check out Maddie Matheson on YouTube. Oh my gosh. He's absolutely insane. He's a brilliant chef, but he is hilarious. And his food is fabulous.
That gumbo looks delicious.
Stay with the tour, babe.
Ah. Blame it on the butter chicken.
Blame it on the butter chicken. We'll blame everything on the butter chicken.
I have never heard of butter chicken. Oh my god.
It is just, if you could smell this house right now. I put it on about 10 o'clock this morning. I put it in the slow cooker.
You could smell it in the garage.
And oh
It
my gosh,
travels.
the house smells so good.
I don't think it's in here. Ooh.
No,
Sorry.
stay on task.
Roasted pork.
When it comes to food, his attention span is like, ooh. It's like being in an art supply store. You know, doesn't know where to look. He does that when he goes through cookbooks. So I just about got all my dip dots in place. I just like them to look a little fuzzy in the center. And we're going to put a little shadow in the center
Look familiar?
of this.
It's called PEI Seafood and Steak.
Yep.
Lobster pie.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yum.
I'd make that.
Lobster rolls. Yes, please. Fried clams.
Lobster season's opening soon, can you tell?
Grilled oysters.
I love oysters. So I'm going to dry this really quick. You can see our flowers are really starting to take shape.
You bought a cookbook for your mom for her birthday? Isn't that a little selfish of you?
No, I have an
No.
obsession with cookbooks. I love, and especially good cookbooks.
And this one's more up her alley than
And yeah,
the typical Gordon Ramsay or...
Well, I have Gordon Ramsay
Wolfgang
cookbooks
Puck.
too. I'm not a Wolfgang Puck fan. I do love Gordon Ramsay though, and that's why I took his cooking course. Oh my God, he was amazing. So we've got our center done. So we're going to put a shadow in the center of each of these flowers with a float of lamp black. And it's going to go right in the center, and it's going to be like a half moon right in here. Just like so.
Tracy makes the best buttered chicken.
Oh,
That was Karen.
Karen, yeah. Karen had never had it before till she ate it here.
Have to have that recipe.
Well, we'll figure it out, find it for you.
Yeah.
It's awesome. Butter chicken is delicious. It's rich, it's hearty, and it's a great feel-good meal. And you can do it in the slow cooker, and you can let it simmer all afternoon. It makes a great meal.
Maddie Matheson, stinking love him. Thanks, Renee, for getting me hooked.
Oh, somebody watched.
Yeah. Oh. Nashville hot chicken.
Oh, yes. Nashville chicken is just to die for.
I want some Nashville hot chicken.
Okay, so we've got our centers done. So now we're going to define these flowers, and this is how I do that. And I know you guys think I'm crazy, but I like...
Who knew?
Nothing like pointing out the obvious, huh?
They say
So-
the way to a man's heart is through his stomach.
Yep.
Or his chest.
Yeah.
There's the easy way and then the hard way.
So I'm using this is my Uniball Signo, and we're going to add a sketchy line around all these petals. Again, neatness doesn't count. You're just going to put like a light sketchy line around your petals like so. Doesn't matter if it's perfectly on the petal. Does not matter. But this is just going to help define these flowers a little bit more. It also helps you fix up little areas that you know, maybe my flower petals don't look so pretty or crisp. You can clean them up a little. It also, all of those graphite lines that may be showing up in there, you can tuck them in behind this and they disappear.
Oh. Okay, so it's not in his cookbook.
Oh, okay.
No. It's on his YouTube channel.
Ah.
Yeah.
Now, if you want a good laugh,
Oh, aliens.
okay. Now the aliens are talking to him.
Aliens. What? No, I won't do that.
I hope not.
Wait, you heard that too?
It's okay, I'm used to it with your dad.
Oh, man.
So I'm just doing that little sketchy line on those petals. It helps define the petals a little bit. It also softens this appearance so they don't look quite so stark and sharp. I kind of like this more relaxed look. So all I'm doing is I'm just sketching around those petals. Like so.
Sadly, I have an intolerance to shellfish, such as shrimp, lobster, and so on.
I love shell.
I'm
I'm
sorry,
sorry.
Linda.
Yeah. We live on the East Coast. It's like a necessity here.
Yeah.
We can't wait
You
for
get
lunch.
disowned if you find out you have like a shellfish allergy.
You're on your own.
You're sent to like places like California.
Yeah.
You know, because Pacific shellfish is ew.
Well, if you're from the
It's
East
gotta-
Coast, it's
it-
you.
Yeah, if you're from the East Coast, it's you.
Yeah.
I love spicy. My hubby, not so much. His tolerance has definitely increased in the last 36 years. Wow.
So this is how you just define out those petals. And I like this because it's an ultra fine line. It's not a hard outline. It's soft and it helps keep the flowers looking sort of fluffy. which is what appeals to me. And it only takes a couple of minutes. The one thing you will have to do, though, is if you're using this type of a gel pen for this, I always spray mine with a little bit of matte spray before I hit it with varnish. I prefer the ultra matte varnish, so I like that dead flat look, but I haven't found a varnish yet that makes this run, but I know that some people have had an issue with it. So, but I also don't varnish mine for weeks and weeks and weeks, so that could be part of it. But I always hit everything with in a couple of light coats of matte spray anyway. It's just a habit I've gotten into over the years.
I'm in Illinois, so chicken and steak are more my style. Yeah, fair enough.
Chicago style pizza.
Oh, Chicago style pizza.
So that is how I detail those flowers. Just put that little sketchy line around the outside of each of the petals. It's fun. It's easy. It doesn't have to be perfect.
I've got my earbuds in, so my husband and sons are going nuts trying to figure out what I'm laughing at.
Hey, that happens around here all the time.
Yep. We either think you're crazy.
Oh, they don't think it here.
Yeah,
It's not,
everybody knows.
It's not even a passing fancy here. They all know we're off our rocker, so.
I love a good barbecue.
Oh.
We have a smoker and a barbecue.
Yep.
We use both religiously. Ish.
Well, when the weather permits.
And I actually took a recipe you make with asparagus.
Mm-hmm. My
And
grilled asparagus.
Your grilled asparagus. I changed it up a bit.
Yeah.
And it's literally just 1 cup of soy sauce,
Mm-hmm.
ginger paste,
Mm-hmm.
minced garlic,
Mm-hmm.
half an onion finely chopped, and I think I use apple cider vinegar.
Mm.
And red chilies.
Yep.
And you let them marinate in there in the morning, and come the evening when it's time to grill, you just take them out of the Ziploc bag, give them a little bit of a shake, throw them on the top rack of your barbecue, and then let them take in the smoke from whatever you're cooking.
Yep.
And,
They're yummy.
and they're yum. So, they got a little bit of spice, little zip, little zang, little
Yep.
yum. You gotta fix that.
So I've taken my pen and I've outlined everything. So now I have to finish out all of my leaves. And this is how I do that. Because I do my highlighting when I do, I'm going to go back in with my angled shader and a little bit of Joe Sonia.
Oh, Sandy Barn Door Design Studio. Oh, okay. Got here late. What pen are you using?
This is a Uniball Signo. It's a Japanese ink. They're black. It's a 0.38, which means it's got an ultra fine point. It also has a stainless steel ball instead of a Teflon one, so it doesn't stick. I can write over acrylic paint very easily with it. I love these pens. The ink in them is ultra black, ultra dark. I get nice definition. I use them for everything. Tracing, drawing, and even detailing some of my artwork. I use them constantly. If you're looking for them, we do have them on the website. These are awesome, awesome pens. And that's the only thing you have to remember is to make sure that you put a coat of matte spray over top of them before you varnish. That's all. So I'm just defining a couple of shadows, deepening a couple of things here and there. But I think for the most part, we're ready for the next step of this. And that is taking my liner brush and my little bit of margarita. I wanted a little bit of margarita and a touch of warm white because I just want to make this green a little bit more opaque, because the margarita is a little on the transparent side. So now I do this quite often. This is where I do my line work. I do all of those little vines and tendrils with that margarita and that warm white mixture. But I also like to soften the edges of my leaves a little bit. So a little too much paint. And I do that with this sort of...
Renee, you love food so much. Are you kind of a big boy?
Oh
No.
my God, no.
No, I am not.
He fortunately got
I
my
have-
father's genes.
It took me until I was... Put it this way. When I got back from Afghanistan, I was 122 pounds.
Skinny as a rail. If he turned sideways and stuck out his tongue, he looked like a zipper.
When I got back from Afghanistan. I went to Afghanistan about 150 pounds.
Yeah. No, he is not a big guy. He's
Yeah.
5'7" and maybe
165 pounds.
165 pounds.
And I've been 165 pounds for the last 11 years.
Yep. And if you step on his foot, his mouth opens. So usually because he wants food.
Yeah, I eat. And
Yeah,
I eat
he
a
does
lot.
enjoy his food.
I like good food.
Yeah.
I like tasty food. I don't like junk.
And he will eat almost anything. He's not a fussy eater.
I see those on... I don't have Facebook anymore, but I used to see those like, are you a picky eater?
Yeah.
So the average is like 5 points. And you're not... Yeah. Usually I see those and it's like... Yeah,
No points.
I get no points because everything I'll either try it or I have tried it,
Yeah.
but I'll eat it.
Yeah. No, he's not. He was a mother's blessing, I gotta tell you, because he was like a baby bird. You just put the spoon out, and
Nope.
his mouth opened. He was easy to feed.
Except scalloped potatoes.
Yeah, that's the scalloped potatoes, but the only thing he doesn't like.
Yeah, scalloped potatoes is probably the only thing when it comes to... I love potatoes.
Just doesn't like scalloped potatoes.
Yeah. There are things that I'd much rather have.
Yeah.
I like potatoes. I like baked potatoes done a certain way.
Yeah.
I think my favorite is still your mashed potatoes, the Irish style.
Yeah.
Those are so good.
So I just take a loose line of that thinned margarita with a little bit of warm white, and I just loosely outline these leaves. I don't worry about getting them spot on, and I use that color to do those little vines and tendrils as well. So all of these leaves get that same treatment.
What liner brush are you using? Oh, you're using the Macron.
I'm using a Dynasty Micron. It's a
Micron.
10-aught extra long detail liner.
Macron.
Macron.
Macaroni. Twice baked potatoes?
Ooh, I like those. So that is it for those leaves. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy.
There is yet to be a vegetable that I won't eat.
Yeah. I don't
Sorry.
lima beans for me.
Zucchini, depending on how it's cooked.
Yeah.
Because I feel if it's not cooked right, they turn into like mush.
Yeah. Lima beans.
I don't
for
like
me.
them fresh either.
Oh, I love zucchini.
I don't like fresh zucchini. They have to be mixed with like peppers and stuff.
Yeah. So next stage for this is to spatter, and I'm going to use a little bit of thinned warm white on my fugly brush, and it's a light spatter. I don't want a ton of this on here. I don't want to bury it.
I'll eat beets.
I love beets, roasted beets with brown sugar.
Yeah. Roasted beets with brown sugar. That would be good.
And then you're going to do that again. This time you're going to use a little bit of thin asphaltum. Because we want to keep that sort of country look with that barn board. So I want a little thin asphaltum. And then the only thing we have left to do is that lettering.
The lettering. Oh, you're not doing it Sandy style and getting gobs of paint everywhere?
No. If I did, Sandy does the tap method. If I did that, I need a hose to get it off of everything because I would make a hell of a mess.
No lima beans or peas. Oh.
I like fresh garden peas.
Yeah.
I don't like canned vegetables. I've never been a fan. I love fresh garden peas. I love
Make a
almost any vegetable. I love eggplant.
Caesar scallop potatoes? Nope.
No, it's the texture thing.
It's texture. It's
Yeah.
completely texture. It just doesn't go
Yeah.
well for me.
Yeah. I make kulkanen. Renee loves that, but
Yeah.
kulkanen is mashed potatoes with tons of cream, tons of butter, salt, pepper, and lots of scallions, lots of chopped green onion in it. And those are just delicious. Kulkanen is yum.
Usually done with a dark gravy or
Yeah.
even a white gravy.
Yeah.
But certain white gravies I'm not a fan of.
Well, I have become a huge fan of sausage and gravy in the States. When I go down to the States, I absolutely love that white gravy. Oh, it's yummy. So what we have left to do is our lettering. And I am switching. He's trying to plug something in here. There we go. So I've switched over to a 0 rigor for this one because this lettering is quite small. And I'm going to get a clean palette for this part. Now, I know I show you guys lettering all the time, but one, it doesn't hurt to get a review, and two, there might be somebody here that hasn't seen me do lettering before, so I figure, what the heck, can't hurt.
Let's get zoomed in then.
So I need some warm white
There we go.
and some asphaltum.
Don't move it too much.
No. So I'm going with...
You should post some recipes on your website. That's not what her website's for. She might post the recipe on Facebook.
Usually around the holidays I post recipes.
Yeah.
Yep.
I think they want your butter chicken recipe.
The butter chicken, I can do that.
That. Yum, yum, yum.
Okay, so I need 2 brushes.
did I
I
just
need
say?
a 0 rigor. Sorry. What?
You moved it.
I moved what?
Thank you.
You're welcome.
After I just...
Don't move it too much.
Don't
okay.
move it too much. Okay, I won't. Moves it.
Sorry.
It's like that.
So one of the
Mind
first...
you, I know where I get it from.
You think?
Don't touch that, Dutch.
Short range apple. So I'm going to shade my lettering first. I prefer to do this way because then I find you get a cleaner shadow. And so I'm using a little bit of thinned asphaltum, and the shadow is going to go on the inside of each letter, like so.
Oh, you're talking Scottish breakfast. Oh, yum.
So that little shadow goes right up against the edge of the letter. And I have thinned this out. It is not full strength. You don't want this full strength. It's too dark. And then all of those sides of the letter gets that shadow. If you go up over the letter, that's fine. Don't worry about it.
Sausage gravy and biscuits.
Yum.
It's my favorite breakfast, lunch, or dinner. Yeah.
Sausage gravy. Oh, I don't know what it is about that white gravy they make down there, but oh my God. It is so good.
I must have had a bad one then because I found it way too salty.
Oh my gosh.
But then again, I could have had a bad one.
I've had it several times, and I've had really good ones. I've had really bad ones, but you get onto a good one, and oh my Lord. And you need a biscuit to soak up all that gravy because it's so good. Yeah. You don't want to miss a drop of it.
We got to make cornbread.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I love cornbread.
So
I could eat cornbread day in, day out.
I know.
And then I would be easily 200 pounds.
Probably not. I've
Probably
seen the way you eat.
You've seen me eat.
I see you eat. I know you'll probably not be 200 pounds.
I eat enough.
Yeah. He eats well, but he does love his food. Yeah. So there is our shading on our lettering.
Wow, that's quick.
There we go.
You gotta teach them like the whole heel of the
That is
brush
something
thing.
that you develop after years
Fiddling.
of fiddling and doing this. It's just a habit that, it works for me. It doesn't necessarily work for everybody. But I use the
I
heel
still
or the
don't.
clean point of the brush to blend out colors.
Unlike hush puppies.
Hush puppies are awesome. You're just girls. You're making them hungry.
Some sausage gravy can be very salty.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I've had some that is just like, oh my God, give me a cup of that gravy and a biscuit.
I looked up buttered chicken. I'm going to try it.
It's
You
delicious.
it you
It is. It's a yummy dish.
It is a yummy dish. Some people may not like it.
Because it is a very strong curry, but it is just, it's rich. Oh, it's so good. Okay, so zero rigor. This is probably about the smallest I use. There is a 10-aught, which is a little smaller, but this one, as far as control-wise goes, number 0 is the ideal. I'm loading it with warm white, and then I tap the brush flat so that you get a chisel edge on your brush, and you're going to start at the top of the letter. So let's move this out of the way. And am I in the shot still? I want to get in on that B.
Yeah, you're dead center.
Okay. So I'm going to start at the top of the letter, which is at the top point of that B, on the chisel edge. And then when I press down, I open the brush up until it fills the space. And then as I release the pressure, it comes back up onto the chisel edge. And that produces that first stroke of our B. Come onto the chisel edge for this one. Press down to open the brush up. Pull down and come back up onto the point. And you're going to do the same thing for each section of the letter. Press down, open it up, let it fill the space, and come back up onto the point. If you run out of paint like I did there, don't worry about it. Just reload your brush and start right back where you were. Don't try to start in the middle, because that will make a mess. What are you chuckling about?
Julie Crosby. That is a biscuit in the UK. A biscuit down south in the United States? No.
No. A biscuit in the UK is a cookie. What we would
Is
call
it-
a cookie.
Is a cookie like a tea digestive or
Yeah, that's a biscuit.
yeah or yeah no a biscuit down south in the United States is it's a meal on its own.
I think about the closest thing that the British would get to an actual biscuit is a scone.
Yeah, kind of like a scone,
Yeah.
but not quite.
Not quite, but
Not as
that's
flaky.
it's close. Yeah,
Not as flaky.
but it's in the same ballpark.
It would be kind of like a roll.
Kind of.
I love the 10-aught rigger with the final flyaway hairs on Santa painting. Oh yeah. Riggers are getting hard to find now. I'm glad I got mine.
I think the brush guys actually just got some more in.
Cracker Barrel is a restaurant in the States.
Yeah.
Oh my! Oh my! I think I need a translator. Cracker Barrel is a cheese or crackers. Cheese for crackers. No, that's Crackle Barrel cheese.
Yeah. In the States, have you ever been to a Cracker Barrel?
No, I
They're
haven't.
awesome. I went there and had Southern fried chicken. I've also had their chicken fried steak, which was to die for.
See, I'm not a big fan of certain roasted style chickens, or
Oh,
I can't stand KFC.
No, but their southern buttermilk southern fried chicken is to die for. It's so good.
Making good biscuit is an art.
I agree.
Yeah. I make cranberry orange scones. Ooh, that would be good.
Oh, those are my favorite. The problem with that is that I'd want to eat the whole plate. I had scones with clotted cream and strawberry jam while I was in London, and oh my gosh, they were so good. Yum, yum, yum.
Are you copy lines? Her copy lines show through the paint when dry? Question mark?
Oh no, they don't. I will erase them all.
Yeah, she
Yeah.
has a special eraser that gets rid of them
Yeah,
and doesn't disturb the paint.
and doesn't hurt to paint.
Okay, now you need to start your own YouTube channel cooking show. I could,
Yeah.
but there's a couple of YouTube channels that do cooking that I watch on the regular, and I can't compete. I can't. Cooking with Babish, go give him.
Oh, major props. Yeah.
Yeah, you gotta check him out. He's. Oh. Some of the food he makes me drool.
So that is as difficult as that lettering is. Just take your time so that as you're working and take all of the strokes one at a time. And remember, if you mess it up, it's just paint. Take a Q-tip, a little bit of hand sanitizer, take it right off. Or baby wipe. Baby wipe will work too.
I love clotted cream.
To die for. Clotted cream. Oh.
Clotted cream just sounds nasty.
It does, but
It
oh
does,
my
but it
God.
is quite tasty.
It's marvelous. Fresh strawberry preserves on a warm scone with clotted cream. Oh, it's heaven.
Yum.
And a good strong cup of tea.
Oh, I'm with you on that one. Lemon curd.
Oh, yes. I love lemon curd.
What is clotted cream? It's kind of like whipped cream. Kind of.
Yeah, it's just super thick.
It's just
delicious.
really thick. Some would say it's almost like pudding-like, but it's still
Or like closer to cream cheese. Like whipped
Yeah.
cream cheese.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's delicious. And it's sweet. A little bit sweet, not too sweet. I think rich is a better word for it.
Yes, very rich.
Yeah. And then with fresh fruit like strawberries. Oh my gosh.
Every week, you guys always make me hungry. Every week.
Sorry.
I like food.
And I like cooking, so.
Mind you, I'm not a bad cook.
You're a pretty good cook.
I made burgers, Thai style.
Thai style hamburgers that were out of this world. He made me pho from scratch, which was to die for.
Took me all day.
Took all day to make, but it was delicious.
What was the other one? Made pho.
Oh, you did that roasted pork loin with apples.
Yes, roasted
That
pork
was
loin
to
with
die for
apples.
too. It was tough. Yeah, so he's no slouch in the kitchen.
I can cook. I make a mess.
Yep. Well,
Right.
if he could find a woman that was willing to clean up after him, she'd never go hungry.
Yeah. If you're willing to clean, I can cook.
Yeah.
I know I'm going to have to make scones very soon. Well, that sounds good. Drooling.
Yeah.
I love this piece. Really like the colors. The colors are different. That is for sure. They're not your
And they're fun.
like the burn your retinas pink is not typical of her color palette.
No, but I really like the color.
I make lemon drizzle cake.
I make lemon loaf, lemon and blueberry loaf,
Yeah.
and that's tasty. So I'm just going to quickly finish out this lettering, and then I'm going to show you my secret weapon,
Secret weapon.
my eraser.
Ah, the eraser.
It
You
gets
need
rid
to
of
have a
ugly
retreat
grappling.
center and have Renee cooking for you. For us. Oh, for you. Okay.
Okay, so I'm going to dry this real quick. Dun, dun, dun. Ideally, I should let this dry overnight before I go and erase all these graphite lines, but
Yeah. You feed me coffee and fresh ingredients, I can cook all day. I can.
Yep.
Because I get to taste as I go.
Yep. So, my secret weapon for removing graphite lines is a Factus black eraser. And there is a reason why I use them, because they do not damage your paint. They remove graphite easily.
Cranberry orange bread?
Oh, I've made that. It's delicious. So there go my graphite lines. Look at that.
If you weren't married, if I weren't married, I'd be chasing you, Renee. I don't like to be chased. I shoot.
So that Factus black eraser will take off your graphite lines. It doesn't harm your paint. And if you're working on black backgrounds, it is perfect because it doesn't polish the black. So you don't end up with shiny spots everywhere. So there we go. We've got our lettering done. We got our flowers done. Now, the only thing I would do, and this is what I adapted after the fact, was when I looked at the overall balance of this, I wasn't really keen on it. And so it needed something. And so I took a little bit of the colors that I used in these flowers, and I added a couple of little buds on either side just to bring in a little more balance, bring the color down a little bit. But that is it. That is our Bless Our Home sign today.
Factus black eraser.
Yep.
Factus
Factis Black 18. You can get them at your local Michael's store and at Hobby Lobby and Joann's. They have them with the art supplies. They usually come in packs of 2. They're not expensive, a couple of bucks, but you can also find them on Amazon and at Dick Blick. I know they have them there. They're well worth having. I use them all the time. And if you know Kathy Hansen from General Pencil, the General Pencil also sells them. They're an awesome product.
Ooh, cornbread with butter and honey.
Yum.
Yeah. I like cherries in my cornbread.
He likes cherries. He's much like his dad. Likes cherries and everything.
No, not everything. But in cornbread, it has a spot.
Yeah. Have to be fresh cherries for me. I don't care for...
No, not the maraschino.
Not maraschino cherries.
No.
Fresh cherries.
Fresh cherries.
Yeah, that would do it.
They got a nice tang to them.
Yep. Bing cherries.
I like
That's it, guys. Yeah. So that was fun. Now I'm really, really hungry.
I'm starving.
He's sitting over there with his stomach growling.
Oh, stomach's growling. I got 2 cookbooks in front of me. That doesn't help. You should show them these.
Yeah, sure.
You got.
Okay, so Renee and I talk about food quite a bit because we both enjoy cooking a lot. And he introduced me to Matty Matheson last year, and I just fell in love with him. I love his cooking style. I love his food. But most of all, I absolutely love the fact that he is so down to earth and he is so entertaining. But this is his cookbook. Matty Matheson's called A Cookbook. His food is amazing. Absolutely amazing.
And he looks like he came out of a...
He's covered in tattoos.
Punk rock
Half
show.
the time he looks like he just rolled out of bed. But he is phenomenal. He is such a talented chef and quite a character. But if you get a chance, look him up on YouTube. You'll love him.
Homestyle cookery.
And this is his homestyle cookery. You can find these at Chapters, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's available in UK too. He's awesome. Absolutely awesome. Love it, and his food is terrific. So that is it for us today, guys. Thank you again. I can't thank you enough. You come back every Saturday and listen to us babble on about nonsense and paint something and play. And I know we babble sometimes.
Yeah, we babble.
We babble.
We didn't do a giveaway.
We did. Oh my gosh, we didn't.
We didn't do a giveaway. Oh
We
my God.
didn't.
We
But
don't
you know
even
what?
have stuff pulled out for a giveaway.
We don't, but we have a couple of stamp sets we can give away.
Which stamp set?
How about a grunge set? Because I use that one all the time.
The grunge set?
And one of the new, how about one of these?
Sure.
Because we're going to have a phone stand coming up. Okay, so we have 2 giveaways. We have one of the grunge sets, the ones that I use all the time, and one of these new ones, the Be Happy. This one is called the Bumblebee Happy stamp set. So there's 2 of you.
Give me a second.
Give us 2 seconds. He's going to hit the random generator and find a couple of winners because we cannot go a weekend without a giveaway.
That'd just be weird.
Heaven forbid. That would just be weird. So he's going to pull that up. I have plans for next weekend. We're going to have some fun next weekend.
Oh, are we?
We are. We're going to do a great little piece. It involves a gingerbread, but it's not for Christmas. We're going to do a Halloween piece
You're doing
next
it?
week. We're doing it.
We're doing it? Yes.
So
Bob's coming to life.
Bob is coming to life. We've got a Halloween piece for you for next week. I think you'll enjoy it. It involves teacups and zombie cookies. So
Yes. I'm excited for that one.
he's doing a happy dance over there. He's excited for this one. It's fun, it's silly, and it's ideal for Halloween. So that is our project for next weekend. The weekend after that, I am teaching a workshop on the Saturday, so we're going to go on the Sunday, I believe.
I got one name. Give me a
Yep.
second. I'm going to gotta get a different number.
Okay, he's hunting. He's hunting.
Oh, these are 2 people that I know have ordered from the website before.
Okay, so you don't need their addresses?
I don't think so.
Okay.
But just in case, please do send us your information.
Yes.
Just-
So, when you need to send us any kind of information or ask a question, if you go to the first page on the website, there's a little speech bubble in the lower right-hand corner. Click on it, and you can send me a question. That one comes directly to me. It doesn't go to the website bin. It comes directly to me. So if you have a question, or if we need your address or shipping information for a door prize, that's where you got to send it. So
Does Bob have a starring role?
Bob has a starring role. And let me see.
Okay. Hold up a prize. Grunge stamp.
Grunge stamp.
Sue Braun.
Sue Braun wins the grunge stamp.
I'm pretty sure I've sent you stuff.
Probably. But just to be on the safe side, Sue, go to the website, click on the speech bubble in the lower right-hand corner, and send us your shipping information. And we will get your grunge stamp out to you. And the other one?
And she's on, definitely there, is Becca Buckner.
Becca Buckner. My goodness, Becca's been lucky. This is, I think, the second time she's won something.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh, well.
So, Becca Buckner, you've got a Bumblebee stamp coming to you as well. So, guys, thank you again. Same as always, you show up every week. Can't tell you how much we appreciate that. We have a lot of fun doing this. I hope that you enjoy it too. And what else? Don't forget, hit the subscribe button. If you're not subscribed to my YouTube channel, please do that.
We're getting close to 5,000.
We're
Just
getting
saying.
close to 5,000. We really want to push that number up. So if you've got friends that enjoy painting, encourage them to come and watch on Saturday. We'd appreciate that too. And anything else?
I'm hungry.
He's hungry. All right, guys, that's it for us. Good to see you again. Make sure you stay safe. Mwah. Love you.